Weigh anchor, and get ready for adventure. It is the Gaming Galleon. You have made it once again, my friend. You've gotten past all the swashbucklers and smugglers, and somehow found your way to this poor, dark little corner of the internet. Thanks for joining me. I am Captain Raz, and today we're going to be sailing off to adventure, big-time adventure, in Kingdoms of Alamar for the PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3! Yes, we are really getting into those vast waters out there, those really far-off waters. And let me tell you, there's nothing bigger than Kingdoms of Alamar when you're talking about a sea to explore. We're also going to be talking about how to defeat a Sphinx. Yes, that's right. Real-world experience coming up here on the Gaming Galleon. And we've got an incredible booty segment. Alright, it's not that incredible, but it may make you wee-wee a little bit. And finally, of course, we have the mailbag. So it's going to be a busy hour. Let's take a look at the clock here. Okay, we're good for the next 58 minutes. Let's be pirates, shall we? So I want to talk about an experience I had last year at Gen Con. It's around it's around the end of the summer right now, and that means that here in Indianapolis, where the Galleon has its home port, it's Gen Con season. And for those of you who don't know what that is, because I have to admit, before I moved here, I did not know what that was. So let me explain to you. Gen Con is, in many ways, the largest gaming convention in the United States. And when I say gaming, I mainly mean things like board games and role-playing games. So the Indianapolis Convention Center is packed to the gills with every type of game you can imagine and every type of personality you can imagine. And they're all together in one roof, and frankly in some other hotels as well. And that's what I want to talk about. I was in a game with I think it was my first day out, but it was the end of the night, and I was hanging out with my brother-in-law, and we wanted to do something. So I said, okay, well, how about this game that I heard of called the Tower of Gygax? And basically, this is a charity event, and for $1, you go to one of the hotel rooms they have. I believe it was at the Marriott or something, and they have 2 circular tables with 2 Dungeons and Dragons games going on. And if you don't know how Dungeons and Dragons games are played, it's basically a number of players sitting around a table and then one major player who's basically the storyteller, or the god, or, if you will, the computer, who basically tells you what you see around you, and you make decisions from there, and he tells you the causes and effects of your decisions. That's Dungeons and Dragons, and we wanted to play. I especially wanted to play. So we showed up at this hotel room, and for $1, we were given a pre-made character, one of our choosing, and then we sat down at this roundabout table. And I believe this was maybe around 11 o'clock at night, maybe even midnight. But, you know, that didn't stop people from being really excited. There was, I think we sat down with about 6 other players, and then the Dungeon Master. And for those of you who are versed in Dungeons and Dragons, it's interesting to note that the people who run the Tower of Gygax actually knew and worked with and played with Gary Gygax himself, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons. So when I found this out, I almost felt like I was, you know, in blessed company. It was really exciting. And when you hear that, you think, okay, well, if this is the kind of guy who's running the game, this is probably going to be pretty fun. But you're told off the bat that this is a very hard dungeon that you're going through, and you're probably not going to last. Again, this is a charity event, so you sit down, give $1 or $2, have some laughs, your character explodes, and then you move on to the rest of the convention. So I was excited. So Lawrence and I, my brother-in-law, we sat down, and I picked a cleric, and a cleric is usually someone who can heal others, and he picked an archer. And we sat down with these other five or six other people who had been playing for a while, and then the Dungeon Master. And the Dungeon Master basically said, okay, the 5 of you meet up, or the 6 or 8 of you, I believe, meet up at the top of the next staircase. Basically, the Tower of Gygax is, I believe, just getting out, so maybe it was on the way down. It's not about story, it's about fun and the crazy rooms that you encounter. And boy, did we find one. We entered this circular room as players, as characters, and the Dungeon Master said, okay, the 8 of you all enter a room, and in the middle there is a cone of, a cylinder of light. And from that cylinder of light, not emerges, for lack of a better word, beams in a sphinx. And for those of you who do not know a lot about mythological creatures, a sphinx is basically a lion with a human's head. Many of you may know of the Egyptian Sphinx. That's exactly what we're talking about. But what you may not know is how sphinxes work in mythology, or at least Dungeons and Dragons mythology. And it's basically they're almost omnipotent beings, except they have to present you with a riddle usually. They're usually gatekeepers, okay? And to pass through them, to defeat them, you don't fight them with an axe. They present you with a riddle, and then you answer it. If you answer correctly, they're basically powerless against you. There may be exceptions to that, but that's the heart and soul of the Sphinx, is outwitting this monster, not cutting it down with a sword. So the Sphinx basically told us that we're going to be... He says that we have to answer his riddle, and if we answer correctly, we will move on to the next room. And so the first person stepped up. We all decided, I think just somebody went up. And the Sphinx asked him a question. And these were a lot of questions, a lot of riddles, and this was a year ago, so you'll forgive me if I do not remember them verbatim. But I do remember that he went up, and the question was asked, and then there was a pause at the table, and I think almost immediately I figured it out and said something like, "Is it a lantern?" And everyone said, "That sounds good." The person who was on the spot said lantern, and then he disappeared. Now, do we know that he was vaporized, or do we know that he moved on to the next room? We don't know that, because he's gone. We're hoping it was right. So the second person shows up, and the Sphinx asked the riddle again, another riddle. And I believe I answered that one correctly, too, and I said, "Is it a river?" And at that point, the person who's playing like the orc warrior looks at me, the new guy at the table, and says, "That guy's going last." And everyone laughs. He says that because as we move on or get vaporized, we can no longer help the group who's in the room. Okay? So 2 have passed, 2 have disappeared to who knows where. There's 6 of us left. And the questions start ticking down, and people are answering questions. And people are moving on, and we're working as a team to get people to move on. And it finally comes down to myself and the other cleric in the party. Okay? Clerics tend to be holy warriors or priests. They tend to look out for those around them. So, when it came down to myself and this other cleric, now, of course the orc warrior was laughing and had already said, that guy goes last, pointing at me. Obviously that's not really established, but somehow it came down to me and the other cleric. And at that point, when it was just the 2 of us left, and I was prepared to go last, but the cleric said to the dungeon master, I push Raz toward the Sphinx. And the dungeon master is like, okay. Now what that means is I'm next. And the cleric looks at me. After doing this, I have this shocked look on my face because he surprised me. And this other cleric says, okay, now you got 2 brains to work on this question. So he's taking a dive. He's not taking a dive, but he's being honorable. He's trying to help me advance and put the last question all on him. Because if I pass, even if I don't pass, I'm going to vaporize, and he's on his own with the last question. At least I have two minds working to get my answer. So basically, he asked me a question, and I don't know it. And he asked about 3 times, and I don't know if it's too loud in there, it was a busy place, or what, but I just couldn't get my head around it. But the other cleric could. And he said to me, it's a tongue. That's the answer to this riddle. It's a tongue. And I said, I have no idea. So I'm going to go on your faith. It makes sense. Is it a tongue? I say to the Sphinx, and I disappear. And then it's the last cleric in the room. And it's just him and the Sphinx. And the dungeon master says to him, and because this is such a pivotal moment, I actually remember the riddle, so I will relay it to you now. I believe I remember it. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. This is very important. Okay. Got it. Got it. Part of the bird, this is what the Sphinx says. Part of the bird that does not fly swims through the water but always stays dry. That's what the Sphinx asks the cleric. So the cleric asks again. He's like, can you say it again? And the Sphinx says, part of the bird that does not fly swims through the water and always stays dry. And the cleric is trying to figure this one out. This other player, he's on his own. He's the only one left in the room. And he's just stammered. And our eyes meet across the table, player to player. And I look at him and I say, you should have let me go last. And he's like, you know it? I'm like, yeah, I know it. But I can't help him because I'm gone. He's alone. Part of the bird that does not fly swims through the water and always stays dry. I believe he hand wove it. He probably said the beak or something. He couldn't figure it out. And the Sphinx shook his head, and he actually felt a little bad about it because this guy had been helping people out. The Sphinx says, I'm sorry, that's incorrect, and vaporizes the guy. The guy turns to dust. So he's the only one who didn't make it out. The player asked me, what was it? And I said, the answer to the riddle is its shadow. The bird's shadow. It's the part of the bird that does not fly, because every other part of a bird flies, but it's shadow. And if it's flying over water, the shadow's going to be on the water and through the water, but it will always stay dry. So there it is. That's how you defeat a Sphinx. You have to work as a team. You have to keep your thoughts, you have to think outside of the box, certainly, and you really have to be lucky to get your way out of that one. So that's the riddle of the Sphinx story. Man, we're already behind it. We're already behind! But that's okay. Let's get to the Kingdoms of Valimar for the PlayStation 3. I'm not going to do a lot of backstory here. We're going to go right into it because this is all about exploration and adventure. So let's get started, shall we? Okay. Kingdoms of Valimar for the PlayStation 3. And here we go. All right. So as you can see here, I've got some armor. And we're standing outside of the Oasis of Ingress. Okay, and basically that's where we have some pilgrims here that I ran into. And a shrine for Mitharu, who I believe is a god of mercantile. I'm going to pray to this shrine here and get a little protection, get a little blessing. Now, these guys are basically just kind of sitting here praying.
Mitharu has chosen each of us.
Oh.
Mitharu has chosen each of us for the gifts we can bring him.
Right, thank you. So yeah, and then this chick here actually is I can barter with, and then this guy here deals in mercantile. So already training in mercantile, you're noticing there's some Elder Scrolls parallels here, and that's what's interesting about this game is no one really knows about it. And I don't know why. I think it was completely overshadowed by Skyrim. I think it came out, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I'm not exactly sure when it came out, but it came out, kind of came out of nowhere. What is this? Uh-oh, we've got combat. Now here's where Kingdoms of Valimar differs. The combat. Take a look at that, huh? Now, uphill here is where I came from, okay? And that was a vast forest called the Feywilds. There were elven villages and human hamlets, just long stretches of living forests, and just bugs flying around, and fairies. And I've been playing this, I think I played this game for around 40 hours, and then I popped this in this week because I wanted to do it for the Galleon, and right outside, not just a couple minutes away, I came into this desert. And I have not explored it, okay? So that's where I came from, uphill. And that's where we're going, okay? I have no idea what's down there. Now, luckily, we have this Oasis here, so if we get into trouble, we can come back and barter for some supplies. But we're on our own here, okay? Now, as you can see on the right here, under the map, I have a whole bunch of status symbols, and those are actually bad status symbols. They're curses, okay? So if there's anything I want to accomplish today, it's to try and find a healer. You cannot cure curses with just an item in this game. Oh, I tried to block. Oh, that's blocked, okay. Oh, just flanking the crap out of me. There we go. Gotta wait for your shot here. Alright, sweet. Got some gold on him. You're seeing a lot of similarities here to some other games. Elder Scrolls, certainly. Also, World of Warcraft. And for any of you out there who played World of Warcraft... Well, by the way, I want to go down this path. Now, there's a lot of paths down here, but I'm going to go this way. Because, again, we're looking for a healer. And I'm seeing flags, okay? I'm seeing sites of civilization. Is it going to be evil civilization? Is it going to be friendly civilization? Let's take a look at this tapestry. There's a skull with a sword through it. I do not think that bodes well for me. We'll take a look and see. Now here's a chick. It looks like she has a quest line, and if you can tell, look on the map, you see that exclamation point? That's very telling of this being a World of Warcraft clone. Okay, but this is great that it's a World of Warcraft clone, because there's a lot of people out here like myself, who played World of Warcraft when it was popular, and maxed out a character and spent a year or two on it. But now they've moved on. We're not really living in a world where we have to be... Whoa, who are you? Oh my god, a sorceress. Whoa. This isn't good. Alright, we gotta break out the big guns. Oh my god, she's wasting me. Whoa! Oh, God. Oh, my God. Steel chassis severely damaged. Charis. Now, I've also got a scepter here, and that's what I'm using now. And it really doesn't help that I have all these curses. I mean, I've been on the road for a while, I guess, and have not been near a real healer. God, she's not messing around. Gotta get near.
Die, mortal.
You die. Oh, look at, she's got teleport. Got her.
Bleed for me.
Yeah. Whew. Now she's an elf. That's how I can tell, because these elves in this game always call themselves mortals. And the interesting thing about this game is I've played like 40 minutes, 40 hours of this. I've seen very little civilization. Bogarts. These are kind of like the kobolds of the game. Just got a shot at. What's that? And one thing I'm not too hot on in this game is there's no real first-person mode. You know, I want to be able to see through my character's eyes. I always think that's a good thing. That looks like a war zone. Jesus, I don't know where to go. Hold on a second. Let's see what's over here. I'm hearing Bogarts. You guys hearing that? I'm gonna take a potion here. Uh-oh, we've got a body here. I mean, as you can see, my equipment's busted. My body's broken from all these curses. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere. You know, who knows how close I am to a healer. But I love that. I love that there is some stuff in this that you just can't heal on the fly. Loot that apothecary. Knight's longsword. Minor damage deflection. I might as well take it all. Now you notice this is an eldritch staff here. And a longsword. Now I'm using a hammer. Oh, come here. Was it a trap? Oh god, it is a trap. Ah! Wow, we are not in Kansas anymore. You know, I'm used to fighting like wolves and stuff. Back in the woods were a lot different. Okay, I had dealt with these Bogarts before, but frickin' sorcerers, immortal sorcerers at that. Oh god, got him. No! For God's sakes, heal up. Dustling. I like that. Another mortality dig. Okay, now we got the ads. Gotta juke these guys out. Boom! Stay on him! Really should win for the other one, he's weaker. Oh, God. Finish him off the range attack, if I can. Now, you see that? They're doing magical barriers. Oh, God. I guess I'm not the only one with a magical barrier. And you can see I'm playing. My build is kind of a cleric, too. Now, you can make thieves in this. You can make straight-up warriors. You know, I always kind of go with kind of a cleric build. This is a little more of a big guy that I usually play, but I can't say no to the hammers in this game. They're just so powerful. Wow, I can't believe we got through that. Now, this is interesting. There is like a kind of a locking thing here. Let's see if I remember how to do it. Yeah, it's very easy, so I'm good. Okay. I'm really not that great at lockpicking, but we got to it. So we got about 5 minutes till we go back to the booty segment. Now you see that up there? That's a cursed chest, okay? That's a cursed chest. Now if you're good at magic, if you're a magician and you've trained in it, you can dispel that. If you're not, you can try, but it's going to be a lot harder. And I've got enough curses on me anyway that if I fail, you know, I'm already kind of at death's door. So let's take a gamble just so you guys can check out what this is. And it's on average here. This is not going to be easy. I'll be surprised if I can pull it off, to be honest. Especially since I haven't done this in a long time. But we'll give it a shot. Fingers crossed. Dispel. Oh, I got it! Unbelievable. Again, steel daggers. A whole other weapon set here, okay? I'm using hammers, and I'm using a scepter. That's my scepter, okay? They have all different combos of their very own. I'm not seeing any civilization here. I guess we're going to have to brave the encampment that we saw in the west. Or is that the east? Yeah, we're heading south right now, so that'd be the east. What's that? I mean, do you see how this just goes on forever? And it really does. This game is absolutely immense. And the cool thing about it is, you know, the Elder Scrolls series, all the races are really to this point where all the races are kind of intermingled. You know, you walk into a town like Coral or the Imperial City, or in Skyrim, if you walk into Solitude, you're going to see almost every race represented. Here, this game really does separate the races almost in like a Tolkien-esque sort of segregation. So you will go hours just seeing one type of race and hearing about these mythological other races like gnomes and dwarves, and never see them. And that is so exciting. Every time you move further in, you never know what kind of culture you're going to run into. So this is a cave. Okay, we have no idea what's in here. It almost looks like a hobbit hole, doesn't it? I don't know what's in here. I mean, it could be a hobbit hole. It could be the leftovers of like a gigantic, massive sandworm. Well, let's stop here. Let's stop here. I'd hate to do this to you, but let's stop here. We'll head into this cave coming back, okay? And I don't want to stop, but I think it's the right time. And we're pretty close to the booty segment anyway. So let's stop here, okay? Let's get the old harp of transition back here. Coming back, okay? And I gotta tell you, I've been dying to play this game again, okay? I checked it a couple days ago to make sure my record was good. And I wanted to keep going. And then I found myself just in like 2 minutes of gameplay, I found myself in a completely different desert here. Totally different area from what I've been used to, okay? It's been trees and glens, and now I'm in this gigantic, endless desert. And I want to see more. Okay, we'll get to it. But for now, we're about halfway through the show here, as you can plainly see. Can't believe it's that quick. But it is. That's life. And now it's time for some fun, okay? Now it's time for some booty. And it's a lot. As you can see, I couldn't even fit it all in there. It's bursting out of the chest, okay? Not much story here. I think we're to the point where last generation stuff, I can't believe I'm calling Wii and PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 last generation stuff, but here we are. We're to the point where people are unloading, okay? They're unloading like crazy. And I'm doing my best to take advantage of that. So, as people are unloading, retailers are unloading, and I found all of these for very exciting price. We'll get to that at the end, but let's take a look at all of these that we got. Now that I think about it, I think I'm just going to tell you. Yeah, because there's just so many weird titles here. This was 50 cents each, okay? All of these were 50 cents each, okay? So let's go through them. One thing about the Wii, you notice that these are Wii games, okay? We got some Wii games here, for the most part. There's other stuff in here too. But Wii is a weird ocean, okay? Because there's so many games out there that were made, most people call them shovelware, okay? There's so many weird stuff out there. I have no idea what most of these are, okay? But for 50 cents, I'll take the shot, you know? All right, now this one I believe is based off a movie, and I remember this getting terrible reviews. It's called Jumper, okay? It's for the Wii, and I think this is about some dudes who can teleport anywhere at any time. Oh, wow, and how about that? Look at that, he's on the Sphinx. There he is. I don't think he'll be answering riddles in this. I don't know. He's got a flamethrower in one picture here. Can't go wrong there, right? Right. Okay. What do we have next? Coco's Magic... Cocato? Cocato's Magic Circus. The other thing here is I never recognize any of the companies for Wii games. Conspiracy Entertainment. Looks like they have... so that's Cocato's Magic Circus. He's got a gun. Is this a shooter? This looks like a shooter. Like a shooting gallery? Yeah, okay. Maybe? Man, I can't even tell. I think it's a shooting gallery. It's gotta be. Yeah, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. And I think most of these all have the instructions. You know, because frankly, not a lot of people played them. Alright, PlayStation 3 game here. We have Pure. Okay. Looks like a motorcycle. No, ATV game. Best of E3 from the Game Critics Award 2008. Sure. This was... Okay. And it's not the right game. It's Need for Speed Pro Street. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Great. Not even the right game. Alright, what do we have here? Burnout Paradise. I hear this is good. I hear this is Burnout's take on an open world game. A lot of the YNL guys tell me this is good stuff. So when I saw it for 50, I went for it. So there you have it. This is kind of cool. Space Camp, a game about Space Camp. I remember this movie in the 80s. You know, back when we actually valued space advancement. You know, just a bunch of these kids who went to space camp. I don't know what this would be like. Let's see. 4 training missions at space camp, 20 daring moon missions, fully customizable characters, open free roaming environments. I mean, but that's nice to say, but it's the moon. You know how much is there to see? Who knows? Maybe you go to Mars. I don't know. Cabela's Big Game Hunter, 2012. None of these games are in any way valuable, hard to find, you know, but they're 50 cents. They're certainly worth more than that as far as I'm concerned. I think it's kind of cool when you get a fun lot of stuff, a bunch of the stuff you just don't know about, like this. Luxor 3. That's terrible box art. This is like straight out of a Journey album. Look at that. It's a puzzle game. I'm pretty sure you figured that out without me telling you. And I remember the guy, when he was putting the discs in, because you get these off the rack, you get them off in a Tupperware bin for a discount price, and then you bring them up to the counter, and then he's got to put all the discs in. They have it in a CD book. He on accident gave me Bust a Move Bash. Bust a Move is a puzzle game, and a pretty good one. So I figured, go with the puzzle game I know. So I let it ride on that one. I mean, maybe I don't have the case, and maybe I don't have the right case for Luxor, but it's a better game in my opinion, so I figured why not. Medal of Honor Vanguard. Okay. Shooters on the Wii are hit or miss. it really comes down to what kind of gun you have, and there are some really neat rifles out there. Uh, shooting a rifle with the Wii can be pretty cool sometimes, so I'm into that. I don't know that I'll, whatever, another shooter. Mercury Meltdown Revolution. This is kind of akin to Marble Madness. You may remember Marble Madness from the arcades, an old Atari game, and a Nintendo game. That's kind of what this is, and this being the Wii, I could only assume you're like moving the Wiimote in certain ways. That sounds kind of lame, but it looks like you can use the Pro controller, the old classic controller. So I don't know. Not that hot on it, but again, it's hard for me to pass. Even if it's a genre I'm not that excited about. 50 cents, man. 50 cents. Someone maybe, by all means. If someone came to the hold and they're like, wow, that looks like a good one, I'll be like, take it. I don't care. Carnival games, mini golf. I'll tell you what, the first Carnival game, I don't know about this one, but the first one was really good. Really fun mini game. Like you're at a carnival and there's all kinds of carnival attractions. This might be alright. Looks like there's a haunted house theme, and if it's a mini golf course, there's always a pirate theme, so can't go wrong with that. I like mini golf games. Oh yeah, in fact, there you go. See the pirate ship there? All right, we're good to go. Definitely earned its place in the hold with that box art. Here's a Sega game. Oh, cool. This isn't too bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Sonic Colors for 50 cents. I hear this is one of the better Sonic games to come out in the past 10, 15 years, and that's saying a lot because there are not many that have been that good. It's kind of cool. I don't know how it is on the Wii. This I'm actually kind of interested in. Classic British Motors Racing. And you see the mini coupes here. This game reminds me of the Italian Job for the PlayStation 1. When you think Italian Jobs these days, you think of this that remake with Mark Wahlberg. Terrible. I haven't seen it, but it's just not up my alley. I don't like remakes, but I do like the original Italian Job. I don't remember who's in it, but it's an old 60s British flick, and it's awesome. And then out of nowhere, 25 years after the game or the movie was gone and forgotten, and years before the remake was even considered, Rockstar made a PlayStation 1 licensed game called The Italian Job based off of this old 60s British flick. And I'll tell you what, we will sail those waters because it is a great game. It is an extremely underappreciated game in my opinion. We'll play The Italian Job. And who knows, this one might be okay too. I don't think it's going to have the level of personality that one did, but I think it's cool. British Racing, that doesn't sound too bad to me. Destroy All Humans. This is an open world action game that, I don't know, the first couple took place in the 50s and 60s. I don't know when this one takes place in the 70s. Right, makes sense. So, yeah, open world games, it's still two-player, it is. So you don't see a lot of two-player open world games. And being an alien, you're obviously doing all kinds of horrible things to the humans you inhabit. So that's kind of cool. I played a little bit of the last one, just one session. It was okay. Unless I get a friend, I'm probably not going to play this guy. Unless I get a friend. Fingers crossed, huh? Okay. Cabela's Big Game Hunter. Again, probably a shooter, and being on the Wii, it might not be so bad. Looks like we're zooming in on a moose there. Okay. A little animal cruelty, why not? I mean, it's virtual. No one's getting hurt, right? Except for my eyes. So here's a PlayStation 3 game. What we got here? What's that? Kane and Lynch Dog Days? And I think this box art is Xeroxed. It looks... But this is like a two-player co-op shooter. Okay. This one's pretty cool. I've actually been looking for this one. I've seen it for $1 and passed on it, and I'm glad I did because this one was 50 cents complete. This is MotorStorm, and I think we'll play this one day too because it's a racing game. There's 10 million racing games out here, but the cool thing about this one is this one combines those 10 million racing games into one. And what I mean by that is there's every vehicle under the sun to race, and they're all racing at the same time. So you got an ATV racing next to a semi truck, racing next to a dirt bike, racing next to a rally car, and they're all just going at it, taking shortcuts. Really cool. I haven't played the PlayStation 3 version, but I played the PSP port to PS2. I think it's called Arctic Thunder, Arctic something. I don't know. But the MotorStorm games, at least the one I played, and that was only on PS2, was great. I can only imagine how this one is. So pretty happy to find this guy. Definitely going to be playing that one. So here's this is pretty exciting. This is an uncommon game that certainly holds its value and is worth way more than 50 cents. And that is Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Yes, that is a mouthful. It is a fighting game, and it is the blast in this series until we went over to PlayStation 3. This one's got a lot of demand. A lot of people like this one. And I believe there were only 2 versions. There was one for the Wii, there's one for the PlayStation 2, and we have the PlayStation 2 one sitting in the hold. So when I saw this guy for 50 cents, I was like, it's going to be a good day. Another PS3 game. This was also a surprise to see this for 50 cents in the Tupperware. The Sly Collection. This is Sly Cooper 1, 2, and 3, which is basically a cat burglar. These were PlayStation 2 games remastered for 3. Pretty cool compilation. Definitely nice for 50 cents. Game Party. Right. Have no idea. Oh, and there's a tournament mode. What is this? Prince of Persia? Prince of Persia Rival Swords? I don't know. I played the first Prince of Persia game. I think that they got a little out of hand with it. Ubisoft does that, man. They just make sequel after sequel after sequel. They're doing it right now with Assassin's Creed. It's just too much. Now we have some original Xbox games that I don't know. I just don't think I had. They're not in the hold, so for 50 cents. I hear this one's pretty good, flat out. I think this is like go as fast as you can, crash into something, and see where your body lands as it shoots through the windshield for points. I think that's how flat out's played. Haven't played it. Here it's pretty good. Pariah, couldn't even tell you. Yeah, there were like 10 million of these third-person, first-person shooters, you know, for the original Xbox, whatever. Oh, but, huh. And this is sealed. Looks like it's brand new. Interesting. Okay. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I think we have this one already. It was 50. This is playable on the Xbox 360, so maybe I'll give it to somebody. You know, whatever. Great game. I'll just say that. Excellent game. And the fact that this is on Xbox, you can actually play off your hard drive your own music via the radio. So there's a radio. You can play all the regular radio stations, but then there's a frequency devoted to your own custom mix. I always thought that was pretty cool. Dakar, the World Ultimate Rally. I love rally car games. You know, I like dealing with terrain. You know, games with like Humvees and rally cars. I'm cool with that. And it looks like this may actually kind of be a MotorStorm wannabe, or maybe, well, obviously it was made before MotorStorm, because MotorStorm was PlayStation 3, but we've got a car here and a motorcycle and a skeleton. I don't think you can play the skeleton. Okay, and finally we have Dead to Rights. You know, everyone was so excited about this back in the day. I don't know. Whatever. I won't. You know, I think you're breaking out of prison, or you are a prisoner, and you have a dog. There's all kinds of. There's like mini games. I don't know. I was never that hot on it. So there you go. Let's count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 for 50 cents each. What's that come out to? About $12.50. Okay, so not bad. A lot of weird gaming here, But some good gaming too, especially MotorStorm. Really happy about that. Okay, we're behind. Let's get back to that cave. Let's go check out what's inside there. I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything, and that's a beautiful thing about this game. You don't know. You know, we don't have a quest right now. The only quest we have is to find a healer. I have a feeling we're not going to find him in this cave, but man, how can I say no? How can I say no? You know? We're here for adventure. We're here for the unknown. And by cracky, we're going to go for it, okay? Let's get back to Kingdoms of Olimar for the PlayStation 3. And for the record, I think this is also on Xbox 360. And that's it. Yeah, just the two systems. And you're never going to see a sequel to this. You're never going to see a sequel to this game because... oh, wait, I'm sorry. We're going through the cave. I probably should have went in here because it's probably a load screen, but that's okay. I've got... you're never going to see this game again. There's no sequel because there was some serious litigation involved. I believe the developers borrowed some money from the state of Maryland, and they couldn't get it back. Cursed chest. And look at this arena. Look at this area here, okay? We're in creepy elf country. Should we try it? What level is it? Very easy to spell? Let's go for it. I think we can handle it. If we can do an average, we can do this. Got it. Oh, helmet fire hindrance. Let's put that on and this curless because I know that our stuff is pretty beat up. At the risk of boring you, we're going to put this on. The helm of fire hindrance. And Azurite curless. That one's just about as good as what we were wearing. So the helm was an upgrade. So we're already in good shape coming down here. The question is, does it go any deeper? Ah, here we are. Is that where we came in? We did. What's this? Oh. Yeah, there's an alchemy system. There's... again, it is a totally different game for everyone else because it does have a very... it's got a skill tree. And... Uh-oh. Who are you? They don't look like they're dangerous. Do I really care? Not really. You want to talk? You don't want to talk to me? How about you?
Good wishes. I am Lord Halsier of the Summer Empire. I can honestly say that we are startled at your presence. It has been, well, generations since we saw another.
Huh. That's exactly what I didn't want to find.
Very well.
Unlocked door. Yeah, it's locked. I have a feeling he's not going to let us in unless we talk to him, and it's like, I don't really want to talk to him. I'm not that interested. You know, call me antisocial. There's one more chest. But let's go back out to the desert and bust some more heads. That's more my... Oh, sweet! Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, compare. Actually, mine's a lot better. Alright, we'll add it to the junk. Very easy to use menus here. I'm starting to remember how to without going into the main inventory screen. Is really, you know, it's a polished game, and it's a real shame that what did happen to this game, I mean, it's completely fallen into obscurity between it being lost in the shuffle of games like Skyrim and Dragon Age, and the unlucky legal problems that came as a result. So we're gonna look around a little more, not too much more. We're getting close to wrapping up the voyage, I'm afraid to say. Because, I mean, look at how much we have. So let's get crazy, and let's just go straight over to that blockade. we're either going to be lucky. Are these ruins here? God, there's just so much. Look, this looks man-made. Those ruins definitely look man-made. That's where that apothecary body was. So right around the corner here is where the blockade was. And I'm really curious to see who's... I mean, this has got to be more elves, right? More sorceresses? Sorceressize? Let's see what this is. It's a shrine to Thyden. I don't know who Thyden is, but I'll take it. Oh, it looks like there's some stuff to go through. Some bark. And these fire shrouds are used for enchanting weaponry. Oh, and these are interesting. So these are all over Olimar. And when you touch one, this is what happens.
This life offers two choices. Fight or die. Those who choose to live face conflict. It is the natural balance of this world. The weeds preclude the flower's bud. The spider's web arrests the fly. The water carves the rock. In the dry wastes of the Tyr, in the land known as Ulcerund, the House of Valar became the home of this primal force.
So that's a lore stone, okay? And that's how you learn about where you're at. Are we going to level? I just want it off my screen. As you can see here, there's quite a lot to do. It's not going to let me get that off the screen. I'm not going to deal with it, though. It's boring. Talk to Garrick Canster. Well, he's friendly, to be sure, but how do we get through this blockade? I'm curious now.
Hold, stranger. The House of Valor is not currently in session. We're preparing for the annual team tournament.
Tournament? Well, that sounds fun. Wonder what's going on back there. We don't have time for it. Alright, let's check out, let's just get off the road a little bit. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this is just one area. It's big. I'm just going to say that. Olimar is huge. It really does feel like to the scale of how Ansalon, is that the continents for is that the planet for World of Warcraft? It feels to that scale. There's so much to do. So much, and really so much to explore, and that's what I'm all about, is exploring and getting the gear. And it looks dead out here. Oh, here's a chest. Not even locked or cursed or anything. Improve strength and grip. That's for blacksmithing. I don't really get into that stuff. Got some plants here that you can forage for alchemy. You know that. I don't do that. Is that a castle up there? Whoa, what's that? That's what I'm talking about. Oh wait, here's a Bogart. Whoa, there's a lot of Bogarts. Plague bearers. They're diseased. Yeah, joke's on you. I'm already diseased. Oh, sorceress. Jeez. Always take the little guys out first. Oh, God. I'm trying to dodge that. And you can. I just suck, that's all. See, there you go. In your face! He's a summoner. What are you summoning?
Down you go.
No, down you go, sir. Yeah, eat it. I'm telling you, I played this game for 40 hours. I've never come across these guys before. The Bogarts have come across, but these Feywilds, these elves, total game changer. Robes of Preservation. You know, you've got mage gear here. I know I'm playing the boring armored dude. What is going on with this castle? Man, who knows? A tomb. Can we get in here? Is it locked? Let's see. Let's fight a few undead before we wrap it here. I mean, it's a tomb. There's got to be some undead in here, right? I mean, I'm not stupid. I know the way the wind blows. This looks like a Hall of a Hero or something. Oh, here he is. Oh, do I really want to do this? Tell you what, I used to play a hero, a cleric, who probably wouldn't be desecrating bodies. But we're pirates today, aren't we? Let's see what's inside the tomb. Ah, it's locked! God. That's my luck. That's my luck. Alright. That's our luck. So let's wrap it there. Let's wrap it there. That was Kingdoms of Valimar. A really cool game that, again, that never, ever, ever got the attention it deserved. And still, to this day, doesn't. I know hardcore, role players out there who finished Skyrim and finished Dragon Age, played, 360 through the whole library, and had one through the entire lifespan. Never heard of Kingdoms of Valimar. Crying shame. Pick it up. It's not expensive. It's going to be the best $10 you ever spent for your PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, so that's Kingdoms of Valimar. Thank you for playing with me. We got just enough time for the mailbag, and then we're going to make our way to the horizon. Okay? Let's see what's in here. We got Super Scope 6. Sunglasses. Flash drive. 3 gig. Bottle opener. Old Indie Popcon registration badge. And a letter. Let's open this baby up, shall we? Alright, what do we got here? Oh wow, this is a long one. Okay, dear Cap and Raz, in your Booty Time segment, when you describe some of the transactions you get into, you often speak of bundling games that you might not really be interested in to get some games that you really want. My question is, what do you do with the games that you buy that you don't really intend to play? Will you sell some of those, or do you just like having them to add to the Galleon's hold? Is it truly a matter of quantity over quality in most of these cases? Keep up the good work, Captain Tyson of the USS Cincinnati. Well, thank you for the letter, first of all, Captain. Here's the thing. I always want them. What do we have? Coco's Magic Circus? I want it. Jumper? I want it, okay? Here, Pure that's not even pure and is another game? I want it, okay? We want it in the hold. This is a pirate ship, okay? We want that hold stacked. And when we fill that hold, we'll get another ship, okay? And we'll fill that hold, all right? Absolutely do we want them all. But the thing is we can't spend the money on all of them, okay? Even if we want them all, and even if they're all at a decent price, you still gotta pick and choose. Yes, sometimes I sell games. Most of the time, though, those are doubles, okay? I'm looking for a double that I can soften the blow with the games that we don't have. And in the case of, here's some games for $1, and here's Here's like 15 games for $15, and here's 15 games that I don't want that are another $15. If I can get all of those for 50 cents each, I'm going for it, because you don't know just from the box art if they're good. I don't know if Jumper's good. It's probably not. But I'll sail that sea. We'll sail it together. And we'll find out, okay? That's adventure. That, even if you think you know what you're getting into, don't think you know what you're getting into. Okay? Is it a question of quantity over quality? No. I think it's a question of the unknown. Okay? I don't know if That's So Raven 2 for the Game Boy Advance is really that bad. It probably is terrible. Okay? But if we experience it together, think about the laughs that we may have. Okay? And that's really what it's all about. More seas to sail, my friend. More seas to sail. Okay? So think about that the next time you're bundling. Next time you're buying some stuff, don't be afraid to say, you know, even if it's a very good price, say if I buy a little more, because most of the time what happens is you're going to end up paying for the same amount. You're just going to get more. Okay? If that's the case, go for it. Don't put down money, you know, if you don't want it, but if you're paying the same amount and he's going to throw it in, take it, for God's sakes. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, so that's it. That's it for the Galleon. Thank you, Tyson, so much for the question. If you out there have a question for the Gaming Galleon, you can write it to gaminggalleon@gmail.com. You can tweet it to @yesterdaynightl, or you can leave it as a comment or a message on any of the videos or broadcasts or productions that we create here on Twitch or on YouTube at Yesterday Night Live. I assure you that it will be sped to the Galleon and possibly placed in to our shabby little mailbag. Okay? So thank you very much. Thanks for being a part of the crew. I can't do it without you. Okay? I cannot. We got to do it together. All right? Don't forget that. It's not just one captain on a ship, all right? It's all of us as a crew. And it's all of us riding together to the next port and the next bank for the unknown. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for the fun. And until our next voyage, farewell and adieu to ye Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain. For we received orders for to sail back to Alamar, and we may never see ye fair ladies again. Oh man, seltzer water. Gotta try it. You don't need pop, trust me. It's got a little kick, very refreshing. Okay? And I guess you could put a little rum in there if you really need to pirate it up. Keep your powder dry.